Hello, welcome to another episode. I'm Charles, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the TRON cryptocurrency. I'm going to be doing a full SWOT analysis on the TRON cryptocurrency where I talk to you about its strengths, its weaknesses, its opportunities, and its threats. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is definitely not financial advice. Please remember to always do your own due diligence. I'm not paid or sponsored in any way to make these videos. All the opinions expressed in this video are just that. They're opinions and they're my thoughts and views. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and of course hit the notification button and also join me in my Telegram group. I'll put the link down below in the description for you. So the TRON cryptocurrency is building a blockchain-based operating system. Now, unlike its rivals, TRON's core vision is to challenge the censorship and control of the digital entertainment monopoly with the specific aim of combating institutional players such as Google, Netflix, Amazon, Spotify, and Amazon Prime. The TRON blockchain is really underpinned by four key ideas: super representatives, TRON power, bandwidth points, and energy. And to really get things underway, it would be good if I put this up. So this is looking at some of the strengths of TRON and what they want to achieve, but you can actually see here I've detailed how their blockchain methodology works so you can follow along. So super representatives. Super representatives are just a fancy way of saying block validators. Block validators or super representatives validate the TRON network and receive block rewards. There are 27 super representatives on the TRON blockchain. The voting system to elect super representatives is ongoing, meaning if a super representative becomes corrupted, they can be replaced. The second thing to note is TRON power. So TRON power basically grants voting rights to accounts that wish to elect a super representative. And this leads us on to bandwidth points. And bandwidth points are designed to prevent spam on the TRON network, granting every TRX holder a limited pool of bandwidth points or BP for free daily transactions. And finally, we have energy. So TRX energy is best thought of as a special resource used on the TRON network to process smart contracts. Unlike Neo and Ethereum, the TRON blockchain does not use gas. However, the TRON smart contracts do consume TRX energy in addition to bandwidth points. And then we have the founder of TRON, Justin Sun. So Justin Sun was previously the official representative of Ripple in China. His first startup was Paywo, a pay-to-chat application that is already operational on the TRON network. TRON successfully raised more than $70 million during its ICO way back in 2017. For this year, 2019, TRX peaked in late January at 3 cents. At the time of recording, the TRX coin is currently trading just under 3 cents. So let's focus a little bit more on the pros behind TRON. So I think the first thing to note with TRON is that it sees centralized media networks such as iTunes or YouTube as a real barrier for independent content creation. A bit like me, I'm an independent content creator, and it really wants to appeal to users such as myself with the idea of making them more autonomous. TRON wants to disrupt the current media model by leveraging the power of peer-to-peer networks, helping people make money out of their content and data. So in principle, it's a good idea. Can't really argue against it. The second thing to note with TRON is that it has more than 100 team members, with offices in Beijing, San Francisco, Seoul, and Tokyo. The TRON team put more emphasis on human resources, public relations, and translation roles, which in my opinion explains their aggressive marketing orientated approach. While many crypto pundits may disapprove of Mr. Justin Sun pumping his project, it's better to be in the limelight than to be irrelevant. The third thing to be aware of when looking at TRON is that it's endorsed by several key players. So we actually have Jihan Wu, the co-founder of Bitmain, Dai Wei, the founder of Ofo, Yan Link, the founder of BTCC, and Chinese business mogul Mr. Yin Mingshan. One of the things that really caught my attention when looking at Tron was that TRX reached 1 million accounts in 6 months after the launch of its mainnet, while something like Ethereum took 3 times as long, reaching 1 million accounts 18 months after the launch of the Ethereum mainnet. However, those of you who are quick to note will remember that the cryptocurrency market was significantly smaller when Ethereum first launched, and this should be factored into your analysis. So when you see all these reviews online and you read all these articles, it's very easy to give factual, intelligent information but spin it in a way that manipulates it to some other person's agenda or advantage. So technically, one could make the argument that Ethereum actually built up the market and Tron is just piggybacking off of that. But nonetheless, Tron has gained a lot of attraction in the market since the launch of its mainnet. Also, we have Tron's acquisition of BitTorrent, which is a big deal and should not be overlooked. Project Atlas, which aims to connect the Tron blockchain and the P2P network of BitTorrent, has the potential to create a new borderless economy in exchanging value for computing resources. And finally, good or bad, Tron is constantly in the news. Headlines such as Tron dApps saw $1.6 billion in volume for Q1 of 2019, driven by gambling, or Google Trends shows people are getting more interested in TRX, which keeps the pressure firmly on the competition and elevates the media profile of Tron. And now we get to the good stuff, the weaknesses behind the Tron project. So let's begin by looking at DPoS. Delegated proof of stake is not more decentralized than proof of stake. It's open to abuse, in other words. Tron's 27 super representatives validating transactions could be the same entity operating under different identities. And then where would we be without plagiarism? There is a large body of evidence online that details Tron's alleged plagiarism of its white paper, as well as supposedly copying code from Ethereum's Java library and changing file names to make it difficult to identify the source of the code, according to an article published on CCN back in mid-2018. Then we have Tron's token supply. So Tron's token supply is not evenly distributed. 40% of Tron's tokens were publicly owned during its ICO, while the remaining 60% were held back by the Tron Foundation. And to be fair with Tron, that's actually not a critique just of Tron, but to many other cryptocurrency projects. They claim to be fully decentralized, but there is a large stack of tokens being held back. And going back to Justin Sun, their CEO, Mr. Sun is actually put on a pedestal and worshipped by the Tron army. Such devotion, coupled with the recent news that close to half of Mr. Sun's new followers are supposedly fake, could create problems down the road. And then there are several media outlets online and websites such as Hacker Noon, Cointelegraph and FX Street that are partnered with the Tron network. Controlling the narrative is a good thing, but making decisions off of biased information is just folly. You can go to the Tron website and you can actually see a list of their partners. I think the problem for me is that with many of these media outlets, they publish news about Tron and they don't necessarily say that they're partnered with it, which is a slight concern for me. And the final point to note with Tron is that its website has been revised multiple times. It's hard for new investors to find relevant information to research, and the Tron roadmap extends far too much into the future, which suggests unrealistic goals. And this is a classic. I see it with all these projects. They have these 5-year, these 10-year plans, but that amounts to shit. Anyone can say anything about something if it's set at a future date, far enough into the future for you not to think about it. And people really need to be aware of the tactics that Tron are using. And now we get to the opportunities. So I don't really want to be too harsh with Tron, and I thought I would just kind of give you some good news about the project. The first thing I like about Tron is that it's not a mineable cryptocurrency. Instead, Tron tokens are earned by creating and sharing popular content, so there's a means of incentivizing users on the network. The second opportunity Tron has going for it is that it's going to be integrating with the Tether stablecoin. The March 4th news announcement makes Tron the fourth blockchain to add Tether support, bringing a store of value into the Tron ecosystem, improves the liquidity of the network, and will encourage institutional and corporate users to start using TRX. And then we have privacy, which is a huge opportunity for many blockchains. Tron plans to implement ZK snarks as early as the second quarter of 2019. Non-interactive, zero-knowledge proofs would allow TRX to be transacted with far greater anonymity and privacy. And that's a good thing, as people don't like paying their taxes. And then we have the 100 million users on BitTorrent. So Tron's acquisition of BitTorrent could pay dividends later on. Incentivizing seeders with tokenized P2P file sharing really plays into Tron's wider rhetoric of wanting to decentralize the internet and could potentially upset the status quo of more established players. The fifth opportunity to note with Tron is that Tron developers do not need to learn a new programming language. Yes, smart contracts in Tron are developed on the Solidity programming language, which means that the Tron virtual machine will be compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine environment, so developers can build, debug, and execute smart contracts in a mixed environment with Solidity coding. So now we come to the threats section, and I think one of the main worries I have when looking at Tron is its relationship with BitTorrent and how it really cuts itself off from corporate users. Tron's BitTorrent uses open file sharing technology, so it's not private by default and can't therefore serve private B2B enterprise level use cases. Government bodies and companies with regulatory oversight wouldn't touch it. And this leads me into my second point regarding EOS and some of its dApps. So EOS's Privios is better positioned to target B2B and B2C clients than Tron's BitTorrent. Why? Well, BitTorrent is P2P, more mass market, and rooted in freemium economics, while Privios uses a closed system to protect files from being accessed so that they can be better monetized. What I'm really trying to say is this: BitTorrent has pigeonholed itself. It's far easier to pivot from business clients to the mass market than from the mass market to business clients. And believe it or not, that last sentence actually took me 15 minutes to write. Can you believe that? I certainly can't, which is why I'm bringing it to your attention. The third caveat with TRX, and Tron lovers are really going to hate me for saying this, is that Tron's blockchain tech is nothing more than a bland simulacrum of a decentralized internet. Not only does Tron promulgate the same narrative of wanting to make decentralized applications more mainstream, but it's a copycat of Ethereum's architecture and EOS's DPoS governance mechanism. The fourth word of warning I have for you about Tron is when you look at something like Ethereum, we know that Ethereum is trying to create a secure main chain through the addition of sharding and other sidechains, while Tron's DPoS actually sacrifices decentralization for scalability and could foster voting cartels where supernodes or super representatives vote for other block producers. And I'm not just attacking Tron here, the same argument could also be raised against other DPoS projects such as EOS. The fifth threat facing Tron, and it's actually one of the pillars behind their ideology, is that content should not be censored. And this is a big issue because it's actually wrong. The recent video upload of a terrorist attack in New Zealand tells us that content restriction in some cases is absolutely necessary. In other words, it's a paradox. You have to pay a cost, you have to pay a price if you want to have a certain level of freedom. You can't expect to just upload content to the internet willy-nilly and do what you want and have everything nice and clean when there are certain bad actors in the world. And I think the final threat facing Tron, and this is one of my favorites, is its sensationalism. So Whether it's announcing announcements on Twitter, or declaring Tron to be 200 times faster than Ethereum, or even picking a winner for that Tesla car, Tron rarely provides evidence to the contrary. Let me let you in on a little secret. It's not what someone says that's important, it's what they don't say, it's what they don't tell you that matters most. Take my video for example. Many people are probably watching this video right now and they're thinking, oh, I like Charles, he's very objective, he's unbiased, he's rational, he always talks about the pros and the cons, but that's not actually strictly true. There's three factors at play. One, I'm human, so there are many things I don't know that I don't know, which I can't include in this video about Tron because I don't know it. Two, I'm operating with time constraints, so I can't make you a 5-hour video on Tron and talk to you about everything the project has to offer, good or bad. And three, I might or might not have an agenda, and that agenda might be either to pump Tron in the hope that you buy it, or try and manipulate the market so I can short Tron in some way. You have to read between the lines basically and see what information isn't being said about the project. And that's really where you make your money. I'm talking in respect to long-term investing, of course. In conclusion, I think we all know that having the best technology is not a prerequisite for success. Ethereum, Neo, Cardano, and EOS are technologically well positioned, but they fail to market themselves correctly. Adoption, getting your technology into the hands of its users so that they really understand how it works in a practical way, is what matters. And Tron, under the leadership of Justin Sun, knows this. In no better way is this exemplified than the recent acquisition of BitTorrent. If you have good or excellent technology and bad or average marketing, your product or service will likely be a flop. By contrast, if you have an average or mediocre technology with superior marketing expertise, your product or service will likely be a success. Look at Microsoft's operating system versus Linux and iOS throughout the late 90s and 2000s. Or we can even go back and look at the videotape format wars of the late 1980s between VHS and Betamax. In both cases, Microsoft's operating system and VHS's cassette tapes should have been relegated to the sidelines because they're technologically inferior. They're shit, in other words. Yet both entrants had the marketing IQ to become monopolies in their respective fields. Project Atlas is Justin Sun's trump card and could be the catalyst that completely disrupts the digital entertainment industry. However, Tron's cut and paste persona and lack of originality is likely to be a roadblock to the project later on. To be successful, Tron has to keep on onboarding new users and forming new partnerships until it reaches critical mass. What I'm really trying to say is that the Tron platform has to continue faking it until it makes it. Uncensored content is a legal quagmire and has the potential to undo all of Tron's hard work. If Tron wants to create the next version of the internet, it will have to balance its sensationalism with privacy and regulation in a way that works seamlessly with government authorities. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification button, and of course join me in my Telegram group. I'll put the link down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.